Ninja Power series. This is our maiden edition, and we hope to continue this for the next couple of weeks. So we'd like to encourage everyone to stay with us. So don't just come today and then we don't see you again for another 2 or 3 weeks. But like when we're learning the tool together from the very beginning, step by step, because we discovered that we had some series that we did late last year, but we discovered that a lot of people were lost and they were not at the level that some of us were already at. So we decided, okay, let's start from the beginning and can all grow together. So we'll take the series one after the other, and then we'll just learn together and grow together. So prior to this, we had shared a guide on our Kaizela group on how you can create an account, like either a trial account or a dev account, for those of us that don't have access to any Office 365 tenants that we can use. So we believe that you've done that already, and we believe that everyone that's on this call already has a tenant that they can use. However, if for one reason or the other you have not been able to do that, you can reach out to us on our group after this call, and then we can support you to bring up your tenants. So taking today's session will be Ibrahim. So I'll be handing over to Ibrahim now. I'm going to run through the App in a Day program. So that's what we're going to do for the next couple of weeks. And Ibrahim would just take us step by step. So if you can follow through also at your end, that would be really great. So thank you everyone once again for joining us. Over to you, Ibrahim.
All right, thank you, Foyin. I'm glad to have everyone here, and I'm also happy to be doing this presentation. I hope everyone is staying safe and that we're fine. Okay, so just briefly about myself, I'm Ido Ibrahim. I've been doing SharePoint for quite a while and business process automation, say more than 8 years, and I'm Microsoft certified. And this the little thing about me, and you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and which other social network we have, and others. Okay, so briefly, because we are constrained with time, we'll be looking at PowerApps, the possibilities, what we can do, specifically looking at App in a Day, which is actually one of the Microsoft learning means. So we'll be looking at App in a Day. We'll take it from module to module. And today we're going to look at half of the module while we continue the rest next week. So without taking our time, what is PowerApps? I'm sure some of us are already used to this. Some of us are already using the platform, while some are still growing in PowerApps. So PowerApps allow you to be able to create applications, whether you have the experience of development or not. So what I mean is that whether you have C# knowledge, you have C++, JavaScript, and the likes. So you don't need all of those skills to be able to use the Power Platform to build applications. And I tell you, this platform is amazing. So for some of us who have been in the business of developing processes from day one, we really appreciated info parts if you know what our app does. So it allows you to quickly build app or processes or build forms within the twinkling of an eye. And so this is what PowerApps does. As the name implies, power is quite powerful. And so I tell you, the possibility is much. So it depends on how you are able to, wrap your head around.
Hello, Ibrahim. We're not seeing your screen.
Okay, you can't see it at all?
No, we can't.
Okay.
We saw it, but it disappeared.
Okay, it's showing now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so without wasting much of our time, in this session, we'll be looking at how to build an app. So the app is basically like a store app that you use to compare products, in this case laptops, and you are able to select the one that you wish to buy or to purchase. So there's a data in Excel format that are already uploaded on this channel. If you click on your channel, click on files. If you can access the channel, you click on the files tab. Let me try and let me see. Okay, I can access it here right now, but let me see. Okay, so if you go to Power User Group Naija, post, then files. If you click on the files, you see the Excel file that are uploaded. So when you are building an app in PowerApp, you would have data sources. Your data sources could vary from SharePoint to Excel to Common Data Service (CDS) to SQL and the likes. You can also build custom data sources. I mean, you can build connectors that connect to other data sources. But in this case, we're just using this Excel data source, and this is already prepared for us by Microsoft. So when you are connecting to this, you can get this data and connect to it in PowerApp. So I'll go straight to my studio. So the studio is actually an environment where you use to build your app. So like we are used to Microsoft Word, we are used to Excel, and we are used to PowerPoint. So the studio allows you to create your application. So like I said, of course, like some people said, PowerApps is like a marriage between Excel and PowerPoint. You know, in PowerPoint you create slides, while in PowerApps you create screens. In Excel you have the formula bar where you input your formula and you have the cells. So this is the same case for this. And one of the beauty of Microsoft products is that they try as much as possible to make the experience across similar. Are you with me? Can I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is the environment. If you need to create your app, the first thing is that you have to have an environment. So before you have an environment, you have to have the Microsoft 365 license. So the license comes in various fragrance. It could be standard, it could be premium or business essential, which is the old naming convention. So once you subscribe to this license, then you have PowerApps. Then you are able to create your apps on the fly. So in order for you to create your app, where do you go to? You go to https:/make.powerapps.com. It's straightforward. It's in the cloud. You can easily access it. So when you get there, you see the options. You can create from the data. You can start from the data. You can create from a blank app. You can also modify a template. So there are templates that are already within the site that you can select and adapt this to create a new one. So in this case, we're creating a new one, but I want to show you what the finished product would look like. Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, you can.
Okay. So this is what the finished product will look like. Now, like I said, if you are going to build this using C#, C++, and the likes, I tell you, you have to be grounded in those languages, and it takes you some time, except you're already a guru. And even with that, it will still take you some time. So this is what we are building looks like. So I have different product makers here. You can see that as I'm selecting them, it's showing the product on the left side of the screen. So this is what we're looking at. You can also compare some of these products by clicking on these check boxes. So when you click, you can compare them. You can compare these products, and you're able to select them and see which one you want to order. So you can also clear all of them. You can scroll these. So you can also see it picks my name by default as the login user, and this is it. So this is a combination of different functions, different controls within PowerApp. I tell you, this is straight. So far, you know what you are doing. It won't take you 1 hour to finish all of this. So let's get started, please. So I will move back to so I'll go back to my new studio where we have to create this thing from scratch. So for me to create this, I'll go to create. I'm sure we're following. So the thing is, if you want to follow, fine, you can follow me. You can also be creating yours, but I tell you, if you follow and you follow it to the latter, I'm sure you'll be able to create this on your own without any hassle. So let's just go together. So I want to create it. I want to create an app.
Sorry, Ibrahim.
Yeah.
We also have the video available on YouTube. So I think it's better we listen and understand. And then once the video is up, you can always watch and then go step by step. and also create your own by the side.
All right, great. Well, thanks for that. So we're creating the app from blank. So I'll select this option, then I'll give it a name, device order app, which is the name of my app. I'll select the format. Is it a tablet or a phone? That is clear to us, so we don't need to dwell on that. So I'll create. It opens a new tab where I'll continue. So it's trying to create the environment for me. And so again, is that your internet connectivity matters here. So if you have an internet that is not fast enough, so this might take time to, to come up. So you have to just hold on while that comes up. So while this is up, we're on our first screen. So on the left side, we can see the navigation on this left, which contains the screens, the controls, our data source, and the lights. Then on the middle is the studio itself. That's our canvas, where we drag our controls and the lights on. And on the left here is our property pane. And so this is where you apply effects like the height, the width, and the lights to the controls on your canvas. So for us to start, I would insert a label here. So the essence of the label is to add text to my canvas. So this is my label. I will drag it to fill this top. Then if you go to the formula bar, so this is the formula bar. This place you are seeing up here is the formula bar. So if I need to change the text within this, for this label, I'll go to the text property of that label, which is this text. Then here I can change it to say device order app. That's fine, right? So we need to centralize this. So like I said, the experience is similar to what we are used to, like Microsoft Word, like Excel, like PowerPoint. If I need to centralize this, it's straight. So I click on this and I click on center. It's already centralized. So if I need to increase the font, I will select this 24. Then if I want to give it a background color, which is fill. So let's say this color. Then I want to change the color of the text to white. So we're done with this header. So you agree with me that if you are writing HTML for this, you can't achieve this in this quick time that we've been able to do it. So this is one of the beauty that we're seeing. So this is it. I also want to introduce the welcome or the hello user, the current user, which is me. Again, what I will do is I will insert a label. So this is my label. I'll take it to this corner where I will adjust the width and the height. Right? So I'll make the color white also. So if I need to change the text, I'll go to the text property of this label. So please note, whenever you want to change any property of a control, you have to go to the property here, which is a drop down here, or on the right hand side here of the window where you see the property pane. So here I'll go to the text property of it. This is a text. By default, we are seeing text, right? So I will change it to hello, comma. So I will leave it like this. So you can see it is showing hello, but we also need to get the person who is currently logged in, the person's name. So there's a function that allows us to do that. The function is called user. Please, let's note some of these things. So you might not need to cram all of these things, but of course, as you use Power App over time, of course, you get to know all of these things offhand. So because this is a string and I need to introduce a function, so I won't be able to add it to here. Rather than I will introduce an ampersand. So an ampersand allows you to concatenate a text strings or text string with a function or a variable. So when you are doing that, you have to introduce an ampersand. So here I will say user, and again you have to note that when you are typing in the formula bar, there's an auto-suggest. So the essence of the auto-suggest is to tell you, okay, we understand that this is what you might likely want to, use, which is this. So most times, just type 4 or 5 letters and wait for it to suggest to you. So I'll select the user, then I'll close this bracket, then I'll introduce a dot. So here I can see that the user gives me the email, the full name, and the image of the current user. So I'll select the full name. Voila. So we can see hello Ibrahim. So it's showing now. I can increase the text to 18. Then I think it's fine this way. Yes, can adjust it. So we're done with this. We have been able to create an header for our app. We've also been able to get the current user credential, and this is Hello Ibrahim. So what do we do from here? So if you look at the finished product that I showed us, so you'll see that there's a display of gadgets and there are different manufacturers. So here, what we're doing is we're introducing a control called gallery. So what does a gallery do? So a gallery is like a container holding data. So take note, data. It means that there has to be a source for that data, so which is key. And like I said earlier, I uploaded an Excel file. So this Excel is our data source. So we're going to be feeding our gallery from that data source. So how do you insert a gallery onto this pane? I'll go to insert. So you can find your gallery anywhere here. So if you can't find it here, there's a drop down on this at this corner, which is this. So I'll click on gallery. So it says which do I want to insert. So I'll click on this horizontal. So this is my gallery. So I can adjust it in terms of positioning. So I'll put it here. So this is my gallery by default. So I need to specify the data source for this gallery. So like I said earlier, your data source could be anything depending on what you are building. It could be Excel, it could be SharePoint, it could be CDS, it could be SQL, or name them. It could be a collection, which of course we'll still get to see what it is later. So this is our gallery. We need to now give this a data source. How do I get my data source? On this left-hand side of my window, I'll click on this. So I will select Excel. I can type in Excel here. So we can see this connector that says import from Excel, which is a add static data to your app. So static data is a data that has been defined in Excel and is not changing. So we are getting this from our desktop on our desktop. So if I click on this, so I'll be able to, this is it, device order data. I'll select it. So within this Excel, I have two tables, devices and manufacturers. Now, let me also tell you that there's a way you also prepare your table for it to be compatible with creating a Power App. So I'm sure that we might discuss that in another tutorial. But there's a way you create your, you prepare your Excel. You don't just, create an open Excel, click on new and input data and that's all. No, that's not the way it's done. There's a way you prepare it, and of course, we get to talk about that in another lesson. So I'll select these two tables and click on connect. Right, so it's connected. We can see the tables on the left-hand side here on this pane. So the data that I want this gallery to show, it's I'll click on my gallery, which is gallery 1. In fact, I want us to rename our gallery to I want us to rename the gallery to device gallery, because we are getting our devices onto this. So it's also a best practice to rename your gallery the moment you add it to your canvas. The reason is that when you're looking for that gallery, you are not, because you could have as much as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's easy for you to locate it. So it's better that the moment you had your gallery, you rename it. So this will be our device gallery. So here we have to specify the data source. So if you look at the formula bar here, you will see that by default, the source is showing custom gallery sample, which is not what we want. So what we want is what? The devices, which is the name of the what's it called? The name of the table within the Excel that we pulled from. So the moment I specify the items to be devices, automatically it shows this. Can you see how straight it is? So all of this information within this have already been defined within our Excel sheet, right? So we're just pointing our gallery to that data source, and voila, it displays all of this, right? Okay, so at this point, I just want to give us a room of 30 seconds or thereabout. Whoever has any question, quickly ask before I proceed, please.
Sorry, the data set.
I lost.
sorry, I lost connection for a few seconds. Can I see the Excel sheet? Did you show us the Excel sheet?
Okay, so like I said, I've uploaded the Excel sheet to this channel. There's a channel, this conversation has a channel, Nigeria Power Series. So if you click on files, you will see the Excel sheet there.
Ibrahim, please can you
And did you have
display-
to format the Excel sheet, please?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said, did you have to format the Excel sheet in any way to give
Yes,
you
yes,
the images and all of this information?
Yes, you have to prepare the Excel sheet. There's a way you prepare it for you to be able to use it for creating your app. So like I said, that might be in another tutorial, or we can also try on our own before the next tutorial that will talk about that. So there's a way you format your Excel to be able to, so as for you to be able to use it for building your app.
Quick one, please. Can this type be done on SharePoint?
You said?
I said, can a data like this be stored on SharePoint?
Yes, sure. You can store this kind of data on SharePoint.
Okay, but are you there, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But how easy will that be? Because I think Excel will be the best way to do stuff like this. Will it really be easy on SharePoint too?
Of course, it will be easy on SharePoint. So a SharePoint is just like a table too. In fact, I personally prefer SharePoint because of some of its advantages. You understand? So again, for Excel, when you are using Excel, you don't open it and you create. So if your Excel is opened and you are creating an app, you might be getting errors. In fact, it might not work the way you want it because the Excel is opened. So which is not the case for SharePoint. So there are cons for using Excel.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so let me proceed. So I haven't done this. So the gallery is powerful in the sense that you can also, so by default, it picks some of the columns that are within the Excel, like device name is within the Excel. The device type is within the Excel. If you already, because I assume that you already know the columns that you define in your Excel sheet, so you can add new labels to this place. You can also change the text on this label. So for instance, if I need to adjust this gallery has a template, what do I call it? So the first one on this gallery is like the template cell. So what it is this one you control that controls others. So this is what I mean. If I select my Excel now, in my gallery rather, there's an edit gallery icon that I see here. So if I click on this edit gallery, I'm able to adjust the size of this gadget. I'm able to adjust it. I'm also able to adjust this cell. So adjusting this cell automatically adjusts others too, which you can see. So it adjusts all of this. Then I can also change this. So instead of the device name, instead of the device type, I want to show the price. So on my formula bar here, so I can type price. So like I said, there's an auto suggest. You don't need to type all of the words. So just type few letters and it automatically pops up unless that is not there. And also note, you can see this item does price. So this item is a keyword that you use to specify that particular item that you are on. So that's why you are seeing this item does price. So it means that the price of this particular item is $899. The price of this particular Acer Aspire M is what? $699 also, and for others too. So if we need to also introduce other columns, what I will do is I can insert a label. For me to do that, I have to select this cell. Then I'll do insert label. Now it will insert it within this place. So note that it automatically also picked the device type. I can change it. I can change it to say, okay, what I want to see is I want to see the title. So it could be the title that I want to see. I change it to title, which you can see. This is Aspire U. Okay, this one is device name. Why this one is device title? So when I move, whatever action I do with this first cell translates to others. It affects others too. So you can see that. So this is my gallery. I can adjust the weight. So adjusting it is straightforward. I just click here, adjust it. If I also need to adjust it from this side, I can adjust it here by clicking on this. This is my gallery. I can, shift this. So I haven't done this. I also want to bring in the device manufacturer gallery here. So what I will do is I will insert another gallery. So this gallery will be a vertical gallery, like I selected. So now the data source for this one will be manufacturers. So because we just want to see the manufacturer, click on the manufacturer, then it shows all the products, the devices. So I'll click on this. So voila, it shows all of this. So if you see this by default, you see that it has the image and it has text, perhaps the URL. But that's not what we want. We want to change the layout. So how do I do that? On the left side of the gallery of the windows, on the right side rather, there's a layout here that I can change the layout. So I'll have to scroll down. Note it, because the first one you are seeing is lists and there's a gallery beneath. So I'll change it to 2 columns. I'll change it to 2 columns. So this will change. So I can adjust the weight. So, but I only need one of these. I only need one on a line. So I don't need this. So I'll come to this pane. So I would see layout 2 columns. No, not this. Not this. I'll see wrap count. So I'll change this to 1. Okay. So this is it. I'll change this wrap count to 1. Then we'll have this. So this is our manufacturer gallery. So what we want to do is when I select one of these, it should filter this other gallery. So please let me rename this first. Manufacturer gallery. Okay, so this is my manufacturer gallery. This is not the icon I want to see. You can see that by default, the column it's speaking is HQ, which is not what I want. The column I want is the column I want is logo. So I'm selecting the logo. So these are the logo. So it's big, so we can adjust the width. So if you want to adjust the width, we can select it this way and adjust it. Adjust the image, right? Then I'll also adjust my template cell to go up. So because I think there are like 11 or 12 of the manufacturers, I want to capture all of them at a glance. So I need to adjust these things so that I'll be able to do that. Okay, I think I have the 12 of them. I have the 12 of them. Okay, so I've been able to capture all of them. So also for this my gallery here, let me adjust it so that they don't overlap. I can adjust this. I can even let me adjust the size of this so that okay, so this is fine. So we can preview what we have done so far. So how do we preview? We can hold our Alt key on the keyboard, and we're able to click on okay, no, let me play it. So if I need to preview, is it I press F5 or I click on play here? So this is it that we're seeing. So we can scroll. We can scroll. Right now, if I click on these manufacturers, it's not filtering yet. But of course, what we have been able to do is that we have been able to bring in our manufacturers, and we have been able to also bring in our devices. So what we need to do now is to be able to link them such that when I click on Acer, I'm getting Acer products. When I click on ASUS, I'm getting ASUS. When I click on Dell, I'm getting Dell. When I also click on HP, I'm getting HP. So are we on the same page? Hello?
Yes, we are here.
Yes, please,
Yes,
following
yes, we are on the same page.
Okay. Okay, so I'll close this. So if I need to close the preview, I just click on this, then I will move ahead. So the currency, we can also format the currency, because as it is, it just looks like an ordinary number. We can format it to this currency or we want to use. So how do we do that? So there is on the formula bar here, you can introduce a text introduce a text function. So what the text function does is that it allows you to format your currency as you so wish. So what do I mean? Let me just okay, so this is the text function. This item dot price. Don't forget that what we had there initially was just this item dot price. So we introduce a text function, then put a comma and format it such that there's a dollar here, which means that the currency here we're talking about here is a dollar, and there's 2#, which is to say that you format after every 3 number, just put a comma, and this is it. So the text function has so one of the beauty of this PowerApps again is that when you type this function, for instance, if I say this is text function, it tells me how the function works. So for instance, this is text, this is value, is expecting a value, which is this item dot price, which is the value. Then you now have a comma. So what formats, how do you want to format the text? It tells you. You understand? So, and what's the format that we're using? Well, so which is sorry, let me just close this text. So this is the format that we're using. So we have formatted the price here. So the next thing for us to do is to link them up. The next thing for us to do is to link them up. So I'm trying not to go too deep, because of course we're still going to continue this next week, because what we are doing is we're actually creating 2 screens. So the screen that allows us to compare each of these products and be able to use to take them to another screen where we now decide on which one we want to buy. So what I will do here is I want to compare the 2 of them, or link the 2 of them together. But before I do that, I also want to do it such that when I select a manufacturer here, it should be highlighted. It should be it should be highlighted. So that which allows us to do that is called the template view. It's called the template view. So I'll click on the gallery here. Sorry to take you back. I'm supposed to rename this screen. So like I said, don't forget to always rename. So these are our main screen. So it's important that we rename our screen. So when I select a manufacturer here, I want it such that this is highlighted. So I'll click on this place and I'll go to the property of this, which is templates view, which is this. So templates view, like I said, whenever I select any of the manufacturer, it should be highlighted by default. So I'll say if, comma, sorry. So sorry again, like I said, there's an if statement, which is also for some of us that are already developers, whether deep or not deep. So the if statement is actually also important. So if allows you to check a condition. For instance, I can say if the person is a male, then do this. If the person is a female, then do this. So if statement is actually used to check a condition. So you'll be using some of these things. So they are not complex, just they are easy to use. So I'll say if this item, so I'm sure we are used to this item, what it means. So this item means the particular item that I'm on. So if this item is selected, comma, so what should happen? So I'll say So let me just say, okay, let it be red. You understand? Let it be red. So that's what I want us to just work with. Of course, I'm going to change it. I will change it. But let's just say this is what we want to use. So if this item, so as it is, the item is that is selected is the ASUS. That's why it's showing red. Let me play it for us to see. So if I select ASUS,
Sorry, it looks like your screen is not moving again.
hello? Hello?
Hello? Yeah, Ibrahim.
Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we
Yeah,
can.
we can see our screen.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that was a network issue. So I want to change that red. I'm not. I'll select my gallery. Click on red. I want. Are we flowing? So I want to use color fade. So this color fade, what it does is, it changes the color to, okay, let me see. Let me just say blue. Hello.
Well, here.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So what I did, okay, so you can see. So I'm saying that if this item is selected, then let the color fade blue, which is the blue. Then I've done that. Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello.
We can
Sorry,
hear
I
you.
think there's a bit there's a network issue there. So sorry. Yes, yes.
No worries.
All right.
I think it's fine now.
So we can proceed, right?
Yes, please.
Hello. Okay. All right. So that's for that. So what we not want to check next is on select. So if I select one of the manufacturers, I want to see the product, right? So if I select Acer, for instance, I want to see Acer product here. So how do I do that? So if you check our gallery here, the items just point to devices, right? So we want to be able to filter the devices based on the manufacturer that is selected. So how do we do that? I will introduce a function. The function is called filter. Are we together? So the function is called filter. So I'll type filter. Like I said, you don't need to type everything. Just type the first few letters and it will show. So like again, what PowerApps does is that it auto suggests to you and it tells you what a function does, or a particular, or yes, say a function. So it wants us to specify the source. So what's the source? Our source is devices, right? Our source is devices, comma. So we want to introduce a condition. So what's the condition? The condition is that the manufacturer ID has to be equals to the anything that we select here. So there's a manufacturer ID in this devices table, which is this, equal to what? So here on this for this manufacturer gallery, we now say manufacturer gallery. So the manufacturer gallery is the gallery on the left hand side. Dot what? Dot selected, right? Dot manufacturer ID. Please, I don't know if you understand. So I said we're linking this manufacturer gallery with these devices. So what we're doing is I want to be able to, because initially I just point this gallery to devices only, to just devices. I didn't filter at all. But because we now want to link them, I want to introduce a function called filter. So what filter does is, like the name implies, is to filter your data source based on a condition. And what's the condition is to say where the manufacturer ID of this device is equal to the ID of the manufacturer selected in this our gallery on the left. So let's try this. Let's play this and see how it works. So here, Acer, we can see that everything we are seeing here is Acer. Let's select ASUS. So we are seeing that everything here is ASUS, Dell, HP, Microsoft, Lenovo, Samsung, Sony, and Toshiba. So voila. So we have been able to link all of this together. Okay, sorry, Ibrahim. So, yeah. Before you continue, let's just be sure that everybody is on the same page. So that means that what you're saying is on the Excel sheet, there is a column called manufacturer ID. Exactly. On the Excel sheet for the devices, there is a column called manufacturer ID. And yes, on the Excel sheet for the manufacturer, there is a column there called manufacturer gallery. Okay, so this is it. On the devices, so for the devices table, there's a manufacturer ID. On the device table and the manufacturer ID, there's a manufacturer ID on both tables. So what it does is it relates two of them together. So we call them primary key and foreign key. So what they do is to relate manufacturer to devices. So the manufacturer gallery we have here is the name of this gallery on the left. Do we get? On this gallery, we selected Acer, and that's why we're able to say manufacturer gallery dot selected dot manufacturer ID. So this manufacturer ID is a column in devices. So we are featuring devices where manufacturer ID in devices equals to the manufacturer ID of the item selected on this manufacturer gallery.
Okay. Ibrahim, please, if I can yes, quickly ask. Okay. When you started, my name is Jumoke. When you started, you said the Excel sheet will have a device manufacturer. We have one column for device manufacturer, and then you have another column for gallery. So the question is now that with all of this, is that the only thing that is just going to be on that Excel sheet? Because now I can see a place that you've said something on manufacturer ID, and so just to be clear on what the Excel sheet looks like, if possible, I would appreciate if you can just, even if it is just for you to just bring the Excel sheet, since we can't see it now and we don't have access to it here, just give us what the columns on the Excel sheet could be so we can figure out the rest ourselves. I want to believe.
All right, awesome. That's an awesome suggestion. So what I would do right now, I'm sharing the Excel sheet with us. I'm sharing my screen so that you'll be able to have a glimpse of the Excel. I think that's fine, right? Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ibrahim. Also, what we would do is we would upload the Excel sheet to a OneDrive location after the call, and then we can share with everyone, both on the Telegram group and on the Kaizala group. And then in addition, we will create a simple form. So if you would like to share your email address with us so that we can lock down our weekly sessions, our weekly Naija series in your calendar, we can just push out the invite so that whenever it's time, just go to your calendar and select it. You can also fill that survey for us. So, thank you. All right, Foyin, thank you. So I want to believe everyone is seeing my screen.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
so this is the devices table. So as you can see, there's a device ID, there's a manufacturer ID, there's a manufacturer name, title, device name, and the likes. Right? So if I go to the manufacturer's worksheet, you'll see that there's a manufacturer ID here, right? Are we here?
Yes, we are. Yes.
So you would see that on both worksheets, there's a column called manufacturer ID, which relates both of them together, and that's why we are able to do that filtering, right?
Okay.
Yes, it's clear.
So very well.
That's what makes. So you can see that all of these things, like the logo is an image URL, the HQ, the store, and the likes. So if you come to devices, you also see device ID. These are some of the things that are also contained in Excel that you can display on your application. So it depends on what you are building, and so you have to, what you need to know first, like I used to say, is that you have to prepare your data source. You have to prepare your data, your database. It's very, very key, so that you don't forget and avoid forgetting something or forgetting a column, so that you don't come back and add it again, and you might have to delete your data source in your app, and there's a, so you just be rolling around the thing. So it's better that you design your data source clearly, and so it's fine before you now start building your app. That's our data source. So I will share my app again, so that so I think at this point we'll just stop and take just 2 questions, so that we'll call it a day.
Okay. So at the end of the day, what exactly are we trying to achieve with this app?
Okay, so like I said, what this app does, is a device ordering app. So imagine that in an organization where employees go through like an hardware refresh cycle. So you want to, the organization needs to, they need to probably purchase, they need to build an app that allows device order and also approval process. So so you can come to this app, select probably the laptops that you want people to, you want to give people the option of selecting laptops that they wish. So when they select, it goes through an approver, maybe like a line manager or whoever is in charge of approving. Then the person approves. That means this is the app you want. But of course, what it does is you look at the app, look at the laptops of various manufacturers, and you select one that you feel that you want to get. So basically, it allows you to browse through, devices and filter by manufacturers. You compare those devices. You look at their specification. You look at the one that you want to order. All of those things. So again, this is just to tell us how some of the functions, controls, and the likes come together to build an application. So it might not really be a case of what we want to do within our organization. So there are different things that you can
Yeah. Hello, Ibrahim. Hello.
Hello, okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Good evening. My name is Ayewale.
Okay.
My question is this: for someone that doesn't have a good sound knowledge in programming, because I saw when you're introducing all these function keys and filtering and everything, what would be the right time to call all these programs, especially when one is trying to do if statements and so on and so forth? Because it may eventually going to be a challenge where you have to start linking, maybe when one is beginning to get to advanced section side, and you have to start calling.
I think that I think I get your question clearly. So the question is, for instance, at the point where we wanted to get the person's name, you saw that part, right?
Oh yes.
Okay. What did we do, if you can still remember?
Like which person's name? So I didn't get you.
We used a function called user.
Okay, user. Okay, I didn't get that side. I didn't get
that. At the point where we wanted to add the current user, we use the function called user. So the point is that at every point in your app, whenever you want to do something, you will, of course, it will tell you, of course, you always remember that, what do I need to do here? So I want to get the person's name. What do I do? Okay, I will use a user function. Okay, if I want to check if this person is a male, there's a question that I need to send to him. If this person is a female, there's something that I need to target, that I need to target to the person. So at that point, you know that, oh, I need to do an if. I need to introduce an if statement, because that's what if does. So at the point where I need to filter my data source, what do? I need to use filter. So these are how some of these things works. You understand? So, and what Microsoft has done that makes the whole thing easier for us is that they try to use keywords that, that relates with whatever we want to do. So for instance, I want to check a condition. Obviously, that's why using an if to check, okay, if this is this, do this. I want to filter something. What do? I filter. So these are these are the ways to get out how some of this thing works. And anyone that is also giving you any challenge, of course, you go online and browse. I'm sure you always get, and of course that's why we're also here. We share knowledge together, and I'm sure you would. And again, is that PowerApps is for citizen developers. So developers, people who don't even have any knowledge of programming or even IT. So you can just get on your app, just like we use Microsoft Excel. We don't necessarily have to be a programmer, but you use Excel to do so many things, like you use it to sum, numbers. You also use it to do some kind of data analysis and some of that. So it's the same experience here.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So can I ask
Hello?
a question?
So hopefully, hopefully, we'll correct this. Maybe this would have been corrected before the next, where we can actually put things in the chat based on the question the last person asked. There's actually a link that I could have just shared with him to show some of those filters. There are actually, and then another, yes, the documents that you can make reference to even on Microsoft Learn and all of that. But hopefully this will be corrected where the chat button will be visible for everybody to be able to see before the next call. However,
Yeah.
on the Kaizala,
Yes.
I think the link will be shared.
Yeah, so we'll share it on the group, on the
Okay.
on the Kaizala group.
Hello?
So is there room for one more question?
I want to ask a question.
Okay, please go ahead. Just 2 questions left, please.
Okay.
All right.
Based on this app you built now, is there a function, is there a way we can, because I realized that for each property you were viewing, you were displaying on this app, it was affecting every other item on this particular app. Is there a way you can view a particular property for just one particular item that won't affect every other item on the app, on the gallery? Is it possible?
Okay, if I get you clearly, okay. Let me see. So most times whenever anything you do affects all of them across on the gallery. That's the way it works. So whatever you do, unless you are now doing it outside the gallery, unless there's something you want to do outside the gallery. So for instance, if I add a label.
No.
Hello?
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 Hello, sorry.
Hello,
okay. Okay. So like I said, so unless you are adding that thing outside the gallery, but if it's within the gallery, it will affect everything within the gallery.
Yeah, so that's the whole purpose why it's a gallery. So that whatever you do is across all the items there and it's consistent. That's the idea of the gallery.
Hello, I want to ask a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes,
my name is Sebastian. Apps built with the PowerApps platform, are they only accessible using the Microsoft PowerApps application for mobile, or you can build APKs like from the platform?
Okay, you can only view them on the Power App.
So you can only access them through the Power App.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or from the web.
Okay. From the web.
Hi. Hello.
Quick question. Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry. My name is Fatu.
Hi, Fatu.
Hi. Well done. Yeah, I believe after this application, you can share an export. Then since we have the link to the Excel file as well, so we can kind of add the data source and we can try to kind of import on our environment and probably check it out. Yeah.
But you're supposed to build it from scratch. So if we're exporting to you, we've done the work for you already.
And it doesn't, you won't be able to.
Exactly. So I think you should try to build it out.
The key thing is once you have the data source, just try, and of course you should be able to, do something. And of course, this video will be available.
Will be available, and we're also on the group. So we're actively looking out for your questions and your blockers so that we can support you through to get it done. So it's very important because we're going to continue from here next week.
Okay.
So let's all try it out. If you have any issues or any questions, just send a message. We have amazing leaders in the community that will respond to you and support you to ensure that whatever issue you have is sorted.
Thank you.
Okay, one question, please, before you leave. Are you there?
Okay, can you hear you?
Yeah, concerning the data source, what if you actually define your data source? So there's now a mistake. Where is the best place to edit it? Because there was an app I built, so I had to change some things on my data source. So it was still giving me an error on the flow checker. So I've not still been able to make it right. So what can I do in that type of scenario?
Your data source, is it a static? Is it where is your is it on Excel? Is it Excel?
It's on SharePoint. It's on SharePoint.
Okay, so when you have this kind of error, so I would advise that you probably remove your existing data source and re-add it.
You can also refresh. You can also refresh your data source.
You can refresh. But I know that the best bet, if you can remove and add it back, it shouldn't be that problem.
I think I'm removing it because I've tried to refresh several times. It's not still.
It didn't work. Okay.
Yes.
So just remove.
You can try to remove and re-add.
Add it back. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I think regarding that, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
On the connector menu, probably if you have a connector initialized already, you can delete the connection as well, then add again from the connection menu.
All right, that's fine. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for taking our time to join the call. I'm sure that we have learned one thing or the other within the last 60 minutes that we have been on the session together. So this will happen the same time every Saturday. So next week, Saturday, by God's grace, we'll be here again at the same time, 6 o'clock, to run us to continue building this app. So I would share a link where you can drop your email addresses. So we block this event down in your calendar. And we'll also share the data sources, Excel sheets on OneDrive. We'll do that today. Both actions will be done tonight. So you can start building your apps. Then you can shoot us any questions you have on our Kaizela group. So we would answer them in the course of the week. So thank you so much. Thank you, Ibrahim, for your time.
All right,
thank
pleasure.
You for wonderful session.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Thank
Bye.
you. Okay, bye. Good night.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.